Zemor LeDavid, Adonai roi lo exar, Bino de sheyarvitzeini, Alemei menuchot, yen aleini, Nafshi yeshovev, Yanecheni v'magli tzedek leman shemo, Gam ki elek v'geitzal ma'avet, Lo irara ki ata imadi, Shiftecha umishanetecha ema yenachamuni, Taroch lefanai shulchan neget zorerai, Dishanta vashem en roshi kosi revaya, Ach tov, Vachesed yirifuni kol yemei chayai, Veshaveti bebeit Adonai, Leorech Yamim. 23rd Psalm, Psalm of David. The Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing. He makes me lie down in green pastures, He leads me to water in places of repose. He renews my life, He guides me in right paths, as befits His name. Though I walk through a valley of deepest darkness, I fear no harm, for You are with me. Your rod and Your staff, they comfort me. You spread a table for me in full view of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my drink is abundant. Only goodness and kindness shall pursue me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord for many long years. And so we are gathered here this morning, sadly, to say goodbye to Sandra Cooperband. Sarah Badiona Vegrina, Zechrona Livracha, blessed memory. The daughter of John and Gertrude, of blessed memory. Wife of the late Mickey, blessed memory. The sister of E.C. Weinberg, blessed memory. Toby Bryden, blessed memory, and also of David Weinberg. The mother of Risa and Marty Kluner, Benji and Adrian Cooperband, Joel and Cheryl Cooperband. The grandmother of Mickey and Steph, Corey and Sean, Jared, Taylor, Devon, Adina and Josh. The great-grandmother of Mason. Judaism is, no doubts, an optimistic religion, and positive thinking plays an important role in a Jew's world view. The importance of living our lives with optimism and how difficult it is sometimes to be optimistic could be traced all the way back to the Talmudic times. We read a story in the Talmud, Masechet Makot, where Rabban Gamliel, Rabbi Eliezer ben Azariah, Rabbi Joshua, and Rabbi Akiva went up to Jerusalem. I saw the holy temple in ruins. Rabbi Akiva, why are you laughing? This is what his fellow sages asked him with tears in their eyes upon seeing a fox coming out of the site where once had stood the Holy of Holies in the now destroyed temple. Why are you weeping? Responded Rabbi Akiva. And they said, we see that a place so sacred is now desecrated by a fox walking there. So how can we not cry? For that very reason, explained Rabbi Akiva, I laugh with joy. The prophecy regarding the destruction and exile concludes with the Temple Mount turning into a jungle. Until that came true, I couldn't look forward to the fulfillment of the other prophecy regarding redemption. Now that I see a fox, I realize the first prophecy has been fulfilled, and I can begin to look forward to the fulfillment of the second. So, being positive despite life's challenges is something so difficult that actually the Talmud says that only one out of the 4 greatest scholars of that time was able to see the same situation from a positive angle and move forward. Life is full of things we don't like. Disappointments, betrayals, losses, frustrations, fights, unanswered prayers. But Hashem, our God, won't allow a difficulty unless somehow it brings something to help us to move forward towards our divine destiny. Things that happen to us every day are developing our character, giving us the knowledge we will need to handle future challenges, growing us up. Perhaps we can see now a little clearer the merits of Sandra Cooperband's life, where a positive mind and the drive to keep moving forward despite her personal tribulation and misfortunes was fueled by her devotion to family, because Sandra did it all for her family. Physically frail, but not mentally, she was always well aware of the blessing of having her children, grandchildren, and a great-grandson in her life. I'm sure sometimes people looked at her life and couldn't understand why. Like Rabbi Akiva, she was not weeping. It's because she knew where the real source of blessing is coming from. It's about recognizing you have the right people by your side, bringing joy and satisfaction to your life. It's about counting your blessings, not your problems. And now, in the Olam Haba, in the world to come, Sandra, together with her beloved Mikey, are like Rabbi Akiva did, both laughing once again, knowing that they left a beautiful family to continue their spiritual legacy. Many times in life, we interact with so many people, we don't really get to know them to the point that we get inspired by their values and the way they interact with the world and with other people. Funerals are the perfect moment to engage in that process. When we suffer the loss of a loved one, what is not going to be with us anymore is evidence. We go to the cemetery, we bury the body. But what is not so evident is what remains with us in our lives, in this world. The eulogy is the tool to remind us that not everything gets buried. In fact, the most important part of our existence, our values, our contributions to society, to friends, to family, etc., stay with us. We just need to be reminded through a eulogy. So today, to begin the process to eulogize Sandra, I would like to invite first David, her brother.
I had some words prepared, but they went down about half an hour ago when the computer went down. So I would just say a couple of things, that's all. What can I tell you about my sister Sandra? Growing up was wonderful. She was 10 years older than myself, and there was a lot of excitement going on. She moved away from the house when I was a little kid, came to Winnipeg, worked for, was nursing for a little while, and then worked for Dr. Lander, and then got married in Winnipeg. In Regina. That's where we're all from. And then with Mickey, it was great. They were married and didn't move away for 6 years, so I had them. Spent a lot of time with them. I couldn't wait to be with them. I'm not sure, as has been said, that they loved having me as much as I loved being there. It was a wonderful time. I remember being stuck in a snowstorm with them. I remember every place they lived. It was great times for a little kid like me. And they moved away after having my beautiful niece and nephew, Benji, and Benji is the nephew, and Reese is the niece. And I think I would have babysat for them even if they didn't pay me 50 cents a night. Joel came along here in Winnipeg, and there were good times. When my mom died, I came and lived with them for a few months, and on a couple of other occasions. So over the years, it was wonderful times. Recent times, Sandra and I reminisced a great deal, talking about wonderful things. And the sadness of all of this was not having just lost my sister, but having lost my last connection to my childhood. So I say with great fondness, great love, that my sister was actually a very important part of my life. And I have nothing else to say except that I loved her a great, great deal.
Next, I would like to call for word to Josh and Mickey, please.
It's often said that the hour of death cannot be forecasted. When this is said, we imagine this hour would be in the distant future. We never thought we would be thinking of Bubby as a memory so soon. My Bubby had the most amazing courageous strength and tendency that every single person who came into contact with her could feel. She went through so much in her last 15 years, so much that it would have broken a lot of people, but not my Bubby. She fought to carry on every day, and she wanted to be strong for those who were watching her, her children. She made broken look beautiful, and she made strong look invincible. She walked with the universe on her shoulders and made it look like a pair of wings. Even now, standing here in front of you all, I can't believe that this is reality. I still feel that I'll walk into her condo and she'll be laying on her bed telling her home care that there isn't enough peanut butter on her toast. I miss her smile and her warmth, and her long talks about absolutely everything. She loved her family wholeheartedly and set an example for what strong and brave really meant. She taught me that no matter what cards you are dealt in life, you can always stand strong and put up a fight. She taught me the importance of each day and to create a purpose on each day. And she taught me that my imagination could take me anywhere. My Bubby will always be the strongest and most fearless person I've ever met. But most importantly of all, I know she's at peace, and I know she's with my Zeta Mickey. When I come to the end of the road, and the sun has set for me, I want no rights in a gloom-filled room. Why cry for a soul set free Miss me a little but not too long, and not with your head bowed low. Remember the love we once shared. Miss me a little but let me go. For this is a journey we all must take, and each must go alone. It's part of the Master's plan, a step on the road to home. So when you are lonely and sick at heart, go to the friend we know, and bury your sorrows in doing good deeds. Miss me, but let me go.
I have the privilege of speaking with Josh on behalf of myself, him, Adina, Taylor, Jared, Devin, Corey, who couldn't make it for obvious reasons, and Mason, who she was so excited about and so proud of. Bobby was a caring and loving person with a great sense of humor, and as long as I can remember my adult life, knowing the Cooperband side and you Kluner's sense of humor was, we were good at joking, and that was one of her best medicines, and we were good at that, and that made her laugh, and her sense of humor was great with that. David's funny sometimes. Although she had these great qualities, as Tay and I were speaking late last night, we were agreeing that Bubby was never afraid to put all of us cousins in our place. Whether it was using the wrong bowl at her house for cereal, or not using a coaster on the table, which last night we did a few times. My mom, like Bubby, was on us. Because they have to sell the table still. Or if we left crumbs on the chair, even though she ate popcorn on her bed all the time watching Young and the Restless. As loving as she was, she certainly had some kvetch in her too. It's sad to label it as her healthy years, but for all of us cousins, the memories that come right away is all of our summers at Winnipeg Beach. We gathered at her cottage with endless days at the beach, boardwalk, and hearing the stories about the old times of Zeta Mickey. For better or worse, Bobby was my disciplinarian. Year after year, she was the one that taught me about the word consequence, as she was the one that stayed behind with me when I was in trouble while everyone else went for ice cream at the beach. The beach really was really good memories for all of us. Although she became more physically limited in recent years, she unquestionably made every effort to be at all functions regardless of her condition. Some examples, the early years of her struggle, she wanted to be at Corey's bar mitzvah, even though she hung out at the Calgary hospital for the whole weekend. And for Josh's bar mitzvah, she was dancing the end away with her walker, even though her doctors probably didn't approve. For my wedding more recently, she couldn't come to Mexico, but she made the trek to Calgary for a pre-party that we had for friends and family. Being really difficult time for her to travel, it was important for her to be at that and other similar events to Toronto or Calgary. And for Corey's wedding just last year, travel wasn't an option, so she took a front row seat on FaceTime, which FaceTime alone for her was a challenge to watch while eating her beloved shepherd's pie. Much like myself, she never wanted to miss a party. Although for her 80th a couple years ago, we celebrated at her condo in the basement party room. We were all down there eating and schmoozing when my mom asked where was Bubby. We quickly realized that nobody brought her down from her place. And we forgot her in her condo. And whoever went to get her, she was obviously less than thrilled. The constant theme the last few days has been that Bubby will be in a better place. I undoubtedly believe that this is the case regardless of all the love we have for her. She deserves so much better than her body gave her in recent years. She's now free of her struggles, no more aches, no more dialysis, no more walker. She can live freely, just like all the pictures that we constantly look at her in a condo. But she was so healthy and full of life. Not that she wasn't recently, it was different. The worst part for all of us is seeing the struggles of her kids and Uncle David, but it illustrates all the love that was there. Bobby's in heaven with Zeta Mickey, running Silverman's. Well, she teaches him how to play multi-solitaire. We love her so much and we'll miss her dearly.
Thank you, please.
Great speech, Mickey. My mother, Sandra, was a wonderful woman. A mother, an auntie, a wife, a sister, a bubby, a great bubby, and a patient. Was she a patient? You know, Mickey said there was a lot of, laughter went a long way in our family. And as you heard, my mother was a sick woman in her later years. She had a hard time walking, needed a walker, had to go by handy transit, and couldn't get very far. But if you took her to Walmart or Costco and put her in front of a shopping cart, she could go a marathon. It was unbelievable. She suffered with illness her whole life. She suffered hardship and death, and yet she was the source of so much strength for all of those that loved her. She gave us life and values and taught us how to love and endure life's trials. She took us by the hand when we were little and showed us how to stand on our own. She did all of those things with pure love. She held her family in her heart always, deeply loving her family. She made us all smile and laugh despite her own pain and her sorrow. To all of you here today, at times like this, heaven allows us access to its highest reaches to find grace and peace. If you allow your minds to be truly still for a moment so that souls can hear each other, you will hear her reassure you that she will always be with us. If a million stars gleamed all at once and night shone lazy blue, if a million moons beamed all at once, our eyes would still find you. If the heavens opened suddenly and angels happened through, the stars and moon and angels would not matter as much as you. My mother was that wonderful. She has now joined her husband, my father, Zeta Mickey, who departed many years ago. It is time for Hashem to recapture her frail, zerbrochene body and allow her to rest and be at peace. We should all celebrate her life and grieve as necessary. You know, this day finally had to come. She was sick for so long, and she really should have been dead 100 times. At this time, she couldn't make it, but all of those other times that she was ill, and the angel of death, the Molech HaMovis, was coming for her, she said, no, my mother was a fighter. She was a real fighter. You know, the doctors told us that after we took her off life support, she would last a few minutes. She lasted 6 hours. She just wouldn't go. She was a fighter. She wanted to be here. Life is filled with simchas and hardships. We must celebrate all of the simchas we can, as these hardships reveal the harsher side of life. If we can learn anything, it's that the time we have here is short. And it's important to tell those people around you that you love them and create memories. And at the first possibility of celebration, I would like you all to raise a glass and have a l'chaim for my mother and everybody else. Just please say l'chaim for my mama. And when we finally put her body in the ground, and we hear that thud of earth that hits the coffin, and we think that it's final, it is not. For the soul and memories of my mother will be with us forever. Thank you.
Thank you all for sharing with us those words of inspiration. At the end of the day, that's the idea, the funeral. It's not about the psalms, the prayers. It's about the moment we have to capture the life of a loved one and to be inspired by that life. May the soul of Sandra Cooperband be a source of inspiration for each one of you. Now please rise for the El Maleh Rachamim prayer. El Maleh Rachamim Shochem Bameroimim Hametze Menucha Nechona Tachat Kanfei Shechina ומעלות קדושים, קדושים וטהורים, כזוהר הרקיע מזהירים, את נשמת שרה בת יונה וגרינה אשר עליך לעולמה בעבור שאנו מתפללים בעד הזכרת נשמתה בגן עדן בגן עדן תימן לכם ולרחמים, אז תראה וסדרקנה אף לעולמים, וצרור בצרור החיים, החיים את נשמתה, אדוני ונחלתה, ותנוח ושלום על משכבה, ונאמר Amen. Exalted, compassionate God, grant infinite rest in your sheltering presence among the holy and pure, the soul of Sandra Cooperband, who has gone to her eternal home. Merciful One, we ask that our loved one find perfect peace in your eternal embrace. May her soul be bound up in the bond of life. May she rest in peace. And let us say, Amen. You may be seated. So in a few minutes, we are going to proceed in caravan fashion to the Sharizedek Cemetery, located in the corner of Armstrong and Main Street. So if you are joining us at the cemetery, you have to remember to turn on your four-way flashers to recognize your car, to mark your car as part of the procession. But also you have to remember to stop at red lights and stop signs. There are a couple of photo radars in the way to the cemetery. So it would be an inconvenience having to go to talk to a magistrate to get rid of that ticket. So it's easier if we all stop at red lights and stop signs. Immediately after burial, we are going to return here at the Sharizedek for the meal of consolation. The Shiva will be observed today until Friday. That's 3 days of Shiva at 1206 200 Tuxedo Boulevard. And it's going to be an open time Shiva, so you feel free to come anytime during the day to visit with the family. But please remember that if you want to come for the time of the davening, it's going to be at 7 p.m. Again, 1206 200 Tuxedo Boulevard, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Donations in Sandra's memory could be made to the Crohn's and Colitis Canada, or, of course, the charity of your choice. And the family would like to extend special thanks to the personal home caregivers and all the staff of the Critical Care Unit, Health Sciences Center. Now, to proceed with the next stage, the way we are going to do it is family. First, actually, the pallbearers are going to exit now the chapel and assume their places alongside the coffin. So, pallbearers, please exit now. Okay. So following the Sharizedek tradition, the immediate family is going to exit now and proceed directly to their transportation. And we are going to wait in our seats until they reach their cars. And then we are going to exit and to form two lines outside the building.